Hello, this is Mr. Hornsby 3. This is the Mr. Hornsby 3 show, and today I decided to take a minute from my break to talk about what we saw at Ringside Fest, because Ringside Fest 2025 happened yesterday. I'm going to talk about all the big news that came out of it. There was only one big news item that came out of it. Everything else was pretty much, the same that we had known about for quite a while, like, greatest hits figures and all that stuff. We knew about all that stuff coming up. But, I'm going to be talking about all the reveals they had yesterday. A reveal that I've been, screaming at the top of my lungs about. I really haven't been screaming about it, but you know what I mean. But we're finally going to get it. It's about frickin' time, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. Also, don't forget, this coming Monday, I will also be doing my 2026 plans video, where I'll talk about all the plans I got for 2026 coming up. Probably talk about all my plans going all the way into May. And then, once I talk about May, probably when I get close to the end of the cycle for the freaking announcements I already made, I'll have another announcement for the rest of that year. Next year. So yeah, anyway, let's get into Ringside Fest 2025. Let's talk about the things I was least excited about, and we'll move up to the things I was most excited about. So first off, let's get into the basic series figures, or main event figures. So they had a lot of good reveals for the main event figures, I gotta say. They came out with, I think they revealed a, they revealed a Cody Rhodes in a tracksuit. They revealed a Hollywood Hogan basic with removable belt, weight belt, and removable headband, which is something I don't think they've done except for maybe a John Cena figure years ago. Oh, excuse me. They also revealed, I believe, a Jey Uso basic. CM Punk in the pink. Gee whiz, it's like CM Punk overload. And, honestly, I think a lot of CM Punk figures, when they do finally hit the shelves at Walmart and Target, they mainly freaking shelf for them. I think except for that Ultimate Edition. I don't know. What else did they reveal for main events? Individual ones. I already said something about Cody with traction. I think they revealed a heel John Cena basic as well. And, I just sounded like a heel BD. I am from the South. Well, I live in the north part of the South, but yeah, anyway. Yeah, they freaking revealed a heel Cena. And what else did they reveal? I think that was it. I'll get to the main event 2-packs. There was some exciting stuff. I mean, first, well, there was only one exciting thing, and that was like, the only thing I'm going to gloss about with the freaking main event 2-packs. So we got Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre from their feud that was like last year, going into WrestleMania this year. We got the John Cena Cody Rhodes WrestleMania match. Comes with the WWE Championship. Basic Cody Rhodes, basic John Cena. Oh yeah, they revealed Ethan Page. Apparently, for some reason, Ethan Page had been begging Mattel. That's what Steve said anyway. That he'd been begging Mattel to make a freaking main event series of him. I'm like, what? Who wants a main event series figure? If I want a figure, if I'm a wrestler and I want to figure myself, I want it to be Elite first, or Ultimate first, not freaking basic. But you know what? Some people's priorities are different. Yeah, I don't know, I guess. But anyway, yeah, Ethan Page, basic. Oh yeah, Razor Ramon in the red. And the Hollywood Hogan and the Razor Ramon in the red, I think should have been Elite figures or Ultimate figures, but instead, they decided to make them basics figures. I hate when they do that, like when they make certain, like with the Stone Cold Steve Austin with the frickin' shirt where he's got his two arms up, but his arms aren't arms, they're snakes. They made that a basic. Like the frickin' Stone Cold orange shirt with the frickin' orange font and the jean shorts. They made that a frickin' basic. It was in a 2-pack with Triple H. The game. Gonna bury ya. No. What else did they reveal? Let's see. I think that was all for the main events. The CM Punk and Pink, Cody in the tracksuit. I think a Cena, Razor, Hollywood Hogan, and Ethan Page. You know, because Ethan Page, for some reason, wanted a main event figure. I don't know why. I'd rather have my figure. My first figure I'd rather have all my figures in the Elite line, not the frickin' basic line or the frickin' anything like that. But hey, is what it is. Anyway. Next up. Let's get back to the 2-packs. I already talked about, you know, Cody and Cena and, you know, Damian and Drew. But the best one of the ones they revealed was the Chelsea Green and the Cactus Jack inspired gear. Not only that, we're getting a Cactus Jack figure. And I think, you know, and this is something I would never say, especially after I just went on a tangent about I'd rather have my first figure be an Elite figure than a freaking basic figure. But we're getting Chelsea Green with the Women's US title and the Cactus Jack inspired gear. Not only that, oh yeah, they revealed a Kevin Owens with longer tights or something now, and the shirt he had in his feud with Cody before he got injured. He should be back from injury by now. Well, who knows? But yeah, Chelsea Green and Cactus Jack inspired gear comes with the Women's United States Championship. But it comes with the Cactus Jack figure. And I think this basic Cactus Jack figure is like the best Cactus Jack figure they've made so far. Because, you know, I know that one came out years ago. Well, outside of the freaking 3-pack. The Foley 3-pack. Outside of that. But that's a WCW Cactus Jack. But let me rephrase. The best WWE version of Cactus Jack, because they came out with that one years ago, never was able to get that one. Then they came out with a re-release of it, and he didn't have the freaking hand tape over his hands. And you know, they also had that freaking exclusive one that came with one of the ECW tag team titles, the modern titles that they had before the company went out of business. And Cactus Jack didn't hold that version of the tag team title because he was in WWF by then and he was retired by then. Anyway, yeah. But the Cactus Jack that I was able to pick up was that second one that came out. Wasn't as good. Now, they got the From the Vault one that looks like they rectified the wrist tape, the tape on the hands. But, you know, I'm not going to buy that. I don't know. I think I might just pick up this freaking 2-pack with that Cactus Jack. That'll probably be the best way to go. So yeah, that was like the best of the frickin' 2-packs they revealed. I didn't care about the Cena one. I didn't care about the frickin' Priest and frickin' McIntyre one. Frickin' fly bothering me. But I did care about that Cactus Jack Chelsea Green one. That was pretty cool. Alright, next up, let's get into the retro figures. So they revealed the Jey Uso with the Yeet. Also, they revealed a basic of Logan Paul. And I believe Bill said this is with his hair, like, wet, like, from when he sweats in a match or whatever. And I heard some people bashing on that figure, but it's like supposed to be a different hairstyle. And, you know, so many people were talking so much he couldn't even get it all the way out to say it. Hey, Tom from Ringside really didn't freaking react to it too much. But yeah, it's like he said it's Logan Paul, same gear, but supposedly his hair is supposed to have that sweaty hair look. That's what he was saying. And it does look like he is with the sweaty hair look, but I don't know. You didn't get that good of a shot at the figure, but yeah. It does look like his hair was a little bit sweaty, but then it also looked like it's the same as any other Logan Paul figure, so who knows. I really don't give a crap about Logan Paul either. Yeah. See, this is one of the reasons why I don't watch modern WWE anymore. Now you got freaking YouTube celebrities freaking wrestling on freaking WWE. You know, I don't know. That's why I've been watching AEW more than I do WWE. I only watch SmackDown pretty much on freaking Friday night. I don't watch Raw. I don't watch NXT no more. I don't watch freaking, you know, and I don't watch all the SmackDown. And apparently it's going back to 3 hours again. Gee whiz, why? Anyway. But yeah, that's it for the freaking main event figures. Let's get back to the retros, which, you know, they had a Jey Uso with the Yeet action. Really don't care. They also showed off another one. Shoot. I can't think of the other one they showed off. I don't know what the other one is, and then after that they showed off Rhea Ripley. I know a lot of girls love Rhea Ripley because she's very popular. And she is one of the most popular WWE stars right now on TV. So, yeah. Pretty excited. I mean, I guess it's cool that they're doing Rhea Ripley in the retros, but I really don't collect the retros. You know. And I'm like, man, shoot, maybe I should have just got this retro figure for my niece, but it's not coming out till next year, and I already got her Christmas present because she's a Rhea Ripley fan. But, yeah. Hopefully she doesn't watch this video and find out that I got her a Rhea Ripley. I try not to spoil Christmas presents I got from one. Like this one, I bought it initially. I was going to sell it in my flea market booth, but then I was like, you know, one of my nieces said they liked that character and they liked the Funko Pop of it. So I'm deciding to keep it to give it to one of my nieces for Christmas. But anyway. I can always buy another one, you know. Whatever the case. Funko Pop's going out of business anyway. I knew they sucked. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, the Rhea Ripley, I think, was like the biggest news they made about the retros. That was about it. Alright, let's get to the defining moments. I'm going to talk about this in two parts because, you know, there's defining moments that, there's a defining moment figure that I'm excited for that might not come out till next year. But then we got these other defining moment figures we got to talk about. So let's talk about, actually there's two defining moment figures I'm excited for. Also, they clarified something I was hoping they would have clarified at Comic-Con. Nobody asked about it at Comic-Con. But, you know, well, nobody I watched anyway asked about it. And I'll talk about it when I talk about the second part of the defining moment. So, we got the reveal of Ricky Saint defining moments with the North American title. The figure looks good. It looks cool and all that. But, you know, is it really a defining moment to win the any NXT championship? I mean, that's the developmental show, so I don't know. It'd be a bigger accomplishment if he won something like the Intercontinental title or the World Heavyweight title or the frickin', you know, WWE title or something like that. That'd be a different story. But NXT North American title, is that really a defining moment? I mean, he's already NXT champion. I'd rather frickin' make a defining moment figure of him becoming NXT champion than frickin' North American champion. But hey, it's what it is. I also did not like how Bill explained what their criteria is for the defining moments. Because defining moment is supposed to be a moment in time that you remember where you were when it happened. Does anybody remember where they were when frickin' Ricky Saint won the national champion or North American Championship on NXT? I don't think so. I don't know. But, well, I don't know. Lord. Ugh, boy. Anyway, I mean, like, or if you win the big championship, that's a defining moment. When you win a big championship that means something. A North American title, I'm sorry, does not mean anything because it's the developmental brand. I know people love NXT and all that, but it does not mean anything anymore. I mean, frickin' back when it was the better brand than Raw and SmackDown, then it meant something, but now it don't mean nothing because Raw's got their stuff together. I hear It's been improved. SmackDown, I don't know. SmackDown still is what it is, but yeah, you know. Ricky Saint did say if he gets on the main roster, he wants to be on SmackDown. He don't want to be on Raw. He wants to be on SmackDown. And I can understand why they say SmackDown, because SmackDown's more the nationally televised show than frickin' Raw is, because Raw's on Netflix right now. So, yeah. Sweet Saudi money. Sweet Saudi money. Alright. Then the other one was Rey Fenix. Yeah. From his WrestleMania match against Americano El Grande. Now that is a defining moment. I will say that's a defining moment because that was his debut. First time he's ever been on the big stage of WrestleMania. And he hadn't even been in the company that long at that point. So yeah, I think he was only there for what, a couple months, and then he's already on a WrestleMania show. Now that's a defining moment. Not Ricky Saints winning the frickin' North American title. You could have put that in a regular elite line, seriously. You could have put that in a regular elite line. But you know what? It is what it is. But yeah, it's all good. Alright. So yeah. Then I'll talk about the more exciting defining moments later. But I just want to talk about those two. The Rey Fenix, and I don't really care about the Rey Fenix one. I don't care about the Ricky Saint one. The Stone Cold one, if that goes on sale on Ringside, I might pick that one up. Only because of the shirt. But heck, I could probably go on eBay and find the shirt for like $7, but I'd rather have, the figure too. But anyway. We'll see. Also, that 3-pack coming out with Shamrock, Bret Hart, and frickin' Stone Cold's also interesting. But, yeah. So now let's get into the Ultimate Editions. Usually the Ultimate Editions are something I enjoy. I like the Ultimate Editions. I think they're better than the Elites. I know other people got gripes about the Ultimate Edition, but I like the Ultimate Edition. But they revealed some of the new ones. They revealed the heel turn Cena when he turned heel on Elimination Chamber this past year. That one's coming soon, I guess. They also revealed Cena in Glasgow when he was, I guess, being rude to that, kid on the show on his first heel promo. I don't know, I think that one was an elite one. Yeah, I think the Glasgow one's an elite one, so. They revealed a new Rhea Ripley that looks like a pretty good Rhea Ripley. Good Rhea Ripley Ultimate Edition. Just a shame she's not coming with the Women's World title with that one, but hey, it is what it is. They revealed The Undertaker, a re-release of the Ruthless Aggression Undertaker. But the cool thing is, now he's got a shirt that, you can pull the straps down and it's not freaking made of plastic or rubber or whatever that freaking shirt was made of. From the American Badass Undertaker that came with one of the WCW tag titles, the one from 99 to 2001. But they said this time this shirt doesn't come off. If it does, you'll break the figure or you'll mess up the shirt or something like that. So you'd have to rip up the shirt to break the figure. You'll either mess up the shirt or you'll break the figure. That's what they said. I think that's a cool feature. I hope they do that with other figures like Kevin Nash. Because, Kevin Nash, he, always wore a singlet. He always wore that top where he could pull down his straps when he was getting ready to jackknife somebody. I think that was mainly a thing with him in WCW. But, yeah, it was only in WCW when he would do that. But, I'd like to see them do that with a Kevin Nash or older Undertaker, like a Biker Taker. They should do another Biker Taker with that style of shirt to, pull down the straps when you get ready to do the last ride on somebody. For the Ruthless Aggression one and the Late Attitude Era one. What other character can I do with that? Like Bret Hart. do a Bret Hart figure where you take the straps out, because Bret Hart done that a couple times. He took the straps down on a singlet a couple times. Not all the time, but he would do it a couple times. They should do that with Bret Hart. Who else? I don't know. I think that's all the figures. Yeah, Kevin Nash or Bret Hart. I think they could do that with Kurt Angle. Problem is, we got the Kurt Angle Ultimate Edition that we can do that with. So that's one of the reasons why I got that Ultimate Edition. I know his torso may be a little bigger than what it, was at that time. But, I mean, come on now. It's a wrestling figure. They're going to make the figures a little more jacked than what they usually are. Yeah. Eddie Guerrero. They could do it with Eddie Guerrero. He had a singlet there for a while where he takes the straps out on a singlet, like get ready to do a frog splash or something before he stopped wearing the top part. Yeah. I think they should do that with a lot of the figures. Implement that technology. Then they revealed the Hulk Hogan, which I'm hoping it comes with a belt as well. I'll talk about what belt when I get to part 2 of the Defining Moments, because I'm going to talk about the Defining Moments part 2 after I talk about this. But they got that Hulk Hogan with the, ripped shirt gimmick, where, like, it actually looks like he's ripping the shirt, unlike how they use the cloth piece, and then you try to do that with the figure. But they figured out a way to do it. I think it's from WrestleMania 5, maybe, when he wrestled Macho Man for the WWF Championship. But, yeah. Hopefully that comes with a belt, and I'll talk about that belt here in a minute when I get to the other Defining Moments. Actually, there might be a 3-parter with Defining Moments, because there's one Defining Moment they revealed that I'm really excited about. So, yeah, maybe I'll go into Monday Night Wars or From the Vault again after that. But, yeah, that Hulk Hogan figure, which they revealed at Comic-Con, but they didn't show it off because Hogan had passed the day of Comic-Con, or the second day of Comic-Con, or whatever. But, yeah. I think it was the first day, because I remember I was in Newport. Yeah, I was in Newport. I'm like, what? Hulk Hogan? No way. But, yeah. So, they did reveal it, and they showed how the feature's going to work. Going to have two set of hands on the shirt, pulling it, and you just got to plug it into Hogan's, got to switch the hands and plug it into the pegs, and then boom. There you go. Hogan ripping the shirt. Which is cool. I think they should also put a normal cloth goods shirt in. So, like, I know they're freaking going to do that shirt with that gimmick. But, yeah, put a normal cloth goods in as well. But we'll see how it goes. I guess you could do that with the freaking 86 Hogan figure. Yeah, put the rubber shirt on, and then when you, like, go to take it off, take the shirt off real quick and put the piece that looks like it's getting ripped off. I don't know. But, yeah. Yeah, what else did they reveal for Ultimates? I think that might have been it. Yeah, I think so. Alright. Let's talk about the From the Vault, and I'll talk about the frickin' part 2 of the Defining Moments. Really just going to talk about the Cody Rhodes figure that's coming into Defining Moments. Well, the Penta figure too. But, so they revealed the next From the Vault set, which I get why people aren't happy about it, but I also see people might be happy about it because of the fact that you actually might be able to get a chance to get these figures. Even though they were initially a ringside exclusive, and now they're still a ringside exclusive, but the first ones they revealed was the Dudley Boys. I know a lot of people were talking about the height problems I guess Bubba Ray had. So, they said the height problem with Bubba Ray was not good. And Mattel did not say if they addressed that height problem for Bubba Ray or not, because Bubba Ray was like 6'4". So, 6'4". But, I guess he was taller than 6'4". I don't know. Well, the figure looked taller than what he would look like as a 6'4" wrestler. But, so they revealed the Dudley Boys, and then they revealed the Chase variant of the Monday Night War Harlem Heat. And, this time they're coming with the 99 to 2001 WCW Tag Team belts. Which I think I might pick those up because I never found either. I would find one of the Harlem Heat characters, but I couldn't find the other one. And I think a lot of times it was Stevie Ray on the pegs, but we couldn't find Booker T on the pegs. So I can see why they put that in From the Vault. You gotta think about it like, dude, yeah, if you can't find them on the shelf, then you're not gonna be able to frickin' use them. But, like, I think the black suit versions of Harlem Heat, and I know that frickin' wave just came out like a year or so ago. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to find Harlem Heat together. Now they're on Ringside Collectibles. If I want to grab them, I can grab both of them at the same time, pay the same price for them, and not have to frickin' buy one and not have the other. So, I'm not too mad about that one. I think it's a good idea. Because just like back in, what was it, Elite 40 when they put out Harlem Heat originally, those were hard to find. The Monday Night War ones were hard to find. So, yeah, I mean, I understand why it was put out. But, I think, yeah, putting out some older figures that we haven't seen in a while would be good, too. I know a lot of people want to see that Flash Rey Mysterio. I really could care less. It's like, that was a Ringside exclusive, too. And, it's just going to be another Ringside exclusive. So, yeah. What's the purpose? And there was a couple other ones they talked about. I think what they should do, they need to re-release that Lex Luger, not the one that came from, not the one in the SummerSlam wave, but the original Lex Luger figure where he had a little bit longer hair and he had the red, white, blue, with Lex Luger having bigger arms and his chest being a little bit bigger and all that stuff, because that figure. Also, I think the Narcissist they should redo as well. Those are figures we haven't seen. If those were two figures I think they should put From the Vault, those are two figures I think they should. Because we have not gotten a proper USA Lex. I mean, yeah, that Lex Luger from SummerSlam, that was a proper upgrade, but he had the short hair. Which, yeah, Lex Luger mostly had short hair when he had the gear. But, before he left WWF and he freaking went back to WCW, his hair did grow out. And he was still wearing the red, white, and blue gear, so, yeah. Maybe they put that in some kind of, like, 2-pack with him and British Bulldog. They could be Allied Nations combined, whatever the name of their team was. And I'd like to see that look of British Bulldog put out, that in figure form. With the long hair and the frickin' biker short style, tight trunks. But, yeah. So if you're going to do that, redo the Narcissist and do the first All-American Lex Luger. Because that needs an upgrade. And you've seen me use that Lex Luger figure in some of my wrestling figure shows. So that one needs an upgrade. Big time. I think, what was it, one of my wrestling figure shows last year I did that figure. I don't know if I've done it on Facebook or yet. Oh no, when I did a comparison video with the Lex Lugers, that's when yeah, okay. But yeah, that Luger with bigger arms, bigger frickin', chest and all that stuff. Yeah, that's what they should do for the, From the Vault. That's one I'd like to see. Alright, now let's talk about the finding moments. We got Penta, which that's been advertised forever, so I guess it's finally going to come out early next year. And then we got the Cody Rhodes, which is also coming out early next year with the newly tooled Winged Eagle title. And thankfully, I think it was Steve, clarified, yes, this Cody Rhodes is going to be the first Cody Rhodes to come with this style of the Winged Eagle belt. So that means that we're going to get more of that belt in the future, which means they're going to have to remake the freaking multicolored strap WWF championships. They're going to have to do the WWF championships with the silver, the dual plated WWF championships that came out when it first came out in '88. So yeah, Hopefully they just don't do the all gold version with the black. Hopefully they have like the different color straps to go with it, like the blue, the purple, the yellow. Even though the yellow never really showed up, the white. So hopefully we get those, which means we'll probably get re-releases of Warrior figures with that version of the belt, which I'm not surprised about. Because Warrior's the one that would do that. He had the purple strap, WWF Championship when he was getting ready to lose to Sergeant Slaughter as a rib on Sergeant Slaughter, I guess. He had the white strapped one, and he had the blue strapped one. And they had the yellow one that came out, which I don't think that one was ever shown, but yeah. So hopefully we'll get more of that belt in the next year. It's kind of like with the WCW Championship. Now they finally retooled the title to look like the WCW Championship. They changed the size of the belt. They changed the fact they took the WWE logo off of it. And all that. So, yeah. Which was great. So I guess next year is going to be the Winged Eagle year. Now hopefully we can get that WCW 91 to 94 belt fixed. Well, I think they've only used that mold like a few times though. So I don't know when that mold's running out. But hopefully it's running out sometime next year so they can fix that belt. Because that belt is too small and it's too thin. And hopefully they go with the Big Eagle. Hopefully they eventually fix that one. If I was to go and say which belt I want to get fixed and retooled, along after the Winged Eagle's been fixed and retooled, I'd probably say the Big Eagle. Big Eagle, then the 91 to 94 WCW Championship. Then the WCW United States Championship should be fixed. I don't know. Probably the tag belts with the scratch logos instead of all the freaking tag belts that's come out have had block logos to them. Although I would like to see a blue strapped Big Eagle belt with the block logo belt, which I was hoping we were going to get with that Stone Cold that's coming out in the next Legend Wave, but that's not going to happen. So yeah, it's going to be the same scratch logo. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so the Cody Rhodes, I'm excited for that figure because of the freaking Wing Eagle belt. It's finally going to be fixed. It's finally going to look accurate to the way it did on TV. Now you just got to get the dual-plated one and the multiple strap collared one. And I know the yellow one didn't show up too much, but you still should do the yellow strap one. I want to see a yellow strap one come out too. Hopefully they put it in dual-plate format, because I think that's, yeah, those were made dual-plated. But, yeah. So, the Cody's cool. Can't wait to see it. Alright, now let's get into some things I was excited about. Let's talk about the new wave of the Monday Night Wars figures. So, next wave I think has Sid and China. Those are the only two I know about in that one. Can't remember who the other two were. Can we get that Sid version in trunks? Because the arms look bigger, the shoulders probably look bigger, the traps look bigger. Well, they haven't showed it without the vest, but I'm pretty sure the traps are bigger. Can we get that version of Sid? Can we just have that as a chase and freaking have that version of Sid in the trunks? I mean, come on now. You can't give us that version of Sid in the trunks. But, I don't know. I've been using the Elite 40, I think it was 40 frickin' Sid for the WCW Sid. I'm using for the WWE one too, but I'm mainly using for WCW. In fact, I just put the US title on him. Let's see. China figure looks really good. It looks better than the other China figures that came before it. And I can't wait to see that figure on shelves. If I even find it on shelves. Because, you know, these freaking Monday Night Wars are hard to find. Because everybody snatches them up. Especially the scalpers. The scalpers are the worst ones to snatch them up. It's like, Lord. Frickin' scalpers, man. Frickin' scalpers. The Steve Blackman looks awesome. I can't wait to see that on shelves if it even comes out. Oh yeah, I think Steve Blackman's part of that one. But what's the frickin' WCW one? I don't know. But then after that, I guess after that wave, we're getting this wave, which is Hulk Hogan. Finally, Hulk Hogan, pre-NWO, WCW Hulk Hogan. Finally. It was going to come with the Nitro stage. I was excited about it because not only was it coming with the Hogan that I had been hollering about for the past several years, but he was also going to be the first one to come with the WCW version of the Big Gold Belt. Now he's coming, like what? Like the fourth version of it? Yeah, because you got the ones with the Rick Rude, then you had the ones with Lex Luger, then you had the one with Big Papa Pump. This is the fourth version. If they don't freaking go back to the WWE logo one. Like, just go with the newly tooled one. That's the one he held. And I'm pretty sure when I pick up that Hogan, I'm probably gonna, because if they don't announce like an Ultimate Wolfpack Hulk Hogan with the freaking Wolfpack logo on the WCW title, I might just have my wife put the freaking Wolfpack logo on that one that's coming with Hogan from the Monday Night War figure, if I'm able to find it. Keyword is if. My Walmarts really suck with getting the Monday Night War. I'm surprised they had the freaking whole set of the most recent set with freaking Undertaker, Bischoff, Pillman, and who was the other guy? Who was the other guy in that set? I don't know. I think it might have been Great Muta. No, that was with the NWO Hogan, I think. I don't know. It was NWO Muta. I don't know. Might have been Kurt Hennig. I don't know. But yeah, my Walmarts suck getting the freaking the Monday Night War figures. That's why I'm shocked I seen the freaking one set with the Bischoff and the freaking Pillman. And that set has been consistently showing up in Walmarts around here. Like, I've seen the Undertaker, and I can't remember what the other figure is of it. But yeah, anyway. Will the set with Rock and G.I. Bro and that show up? Hopefully. Anyway, Make a Difference Fatu was in that set too. But anyway. So yeah, finally. And it's going to be from the debuted episode of Nitro. Where Hulk Hogan, I believe, put the title on the line against Big Bubba, but then there was interference, so the match was thrown out. Yeah. But that was the return of Lex Luger too. So yeah, I'm going to be excited to get the Hogan. That one might be the peg warmer because people were least interested in that one when the Nitro stage came out. But you know what? I was interested in it because it was going to be the first time we were going to get the WCW version of the Big Gold Belt. It was the Hulk Hogan I had been talking about for years and years and years now since Mattel's had the license to it. Because when Jax made them, the WCW version looked the same as the WWF version, when the WWF version and WCW versions of Hogan were totally different. Even the Ultimate Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 9 was different from this Hogan because he had like his little Hogan logo in the ones from WrestleMania 9, but then on the WCW version he had the WCW logos. So, yeah, I think people don't pay attention to details like that. And they're just like, oh, it's the same old. We've had him in the freaking promo gear from that time numerous times, and finally, we're getting him in the trunks. Finally. Big Gold Belt. Like I said, I'd probably use that one to be the Wolfpack belt, because I want to get rid of all the freaking Jax World Heavyweight titles I have. I've already gotten rid of a couple of them already. So, yeah. I want to get rid of all the Jax World Heavyweight titles. Now that Mattel's made them, which has been great. So hopefully my wife will be able to do the logo. Hopefully she does it right this time. Because when I had her do it on Toy Biz one, she didn't connect the Z to the NWO logo on the frickin' Toy Biz belt that I bought to make the Wolfpack belt. Yeah, finally. I was getting Brian Adams, I'm glad to see Brian Adams from NWO. I don't think I've got most of the Wolfpack characters. I think I bought Hogan, Giant, Nash, and Hall from the original NWO lineup. Macho Man Ultimate, I had to pick that up because the frickin', what was it, the ringside one before? I wish, if they do get the license back to Reign and Savage, they do re-release the Wolfpack Savage with a fabric shirt like they did with the regular NWO one. But we'll have to wait and see. Alright, re-releases for Monday Night War. It'll be Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, but Road Dogg's going to have a jersey, the DX jersey, and they've made it to where I guess there's like some kind of wire in it where you could push it up to make it look like it's tucked in, so the shirt's just not hanging because Road Dogg always wore his shirts tucked in. And Billy Gunn with the King Billy Gunn gear on after he won King of the Ring in '99. This is when DX got back together. And they became a heel group. And then they became part of the McMahon-Helmsley faction. So. And that lasted till what? Was it the middle of 2000? Yeah, the middle of 2000 when they freaking finally disbanded DX for good. But then 2 years later, Triple H got another. Well, 3 years later, Triple H had another faction in Evolution. Or what? Yeah, it was 3 years later. What else did they reveal? They're re-releasing the Rick Steiner. This time it's going to be different color to the singlet. So that's pretty cool. It's going to have red. I got the Scott Steiner over there. Pick up the Rick Steiner probably when that comes out. They also had some other re-releases they were revealed. And then also with that Monday Night War set with Hogan, Brian Adams, you're going to have the headbangers. They're going to be different from the ones that they came out with the 2-pack. They're going to be a different gear and all that. They also revealed a Piper. I don't know if it's from a re-release of the Monday Night Wars or if it's the next Monday Night Wars after that or before that. I don't know. But from the first night he came on Nitro and cut his promo and he revealed Eric Bischoff to be a member of the NWO. And then he got jumped at the end of the show. And he told the NWO to kiss his ass. I remember that frickin' show vividly. Like, yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Like, yeah, that's a moment. That was a defining moment. Where Piper said, "Hey, yo, NWO, you could kiss my ass." And then he's like, turns around and pats to his butt. Yeah, so pretty cool. Let's see. What else did they reveal? Let's see, what else? I already talked about the front of the vault. Talked about the elites. Talked about something else. They did, the AJ Styles Ultimate re-release with the longer hair. Has the New Japan mask and all that stuff. Yeah. I think I covered everything. Except one final thing. Because at the end of the show, they announced New Jack. I'm like, yeah, that's a big news item. I was excited about the Hogan news, the Hogan figure news with the WCW version of him. That wasn't an NWO Hogan. And then I was really excited about the New Jack news. How about they get Shane Douglas with the 96 version of the ECW World Championship? Because that's like my favorite version of the ECW World Championship. The one they came out with after that was cool, but I still like the 96 one. That's, and that was around the time I was watching ECW a lot. That belt was around. The TV title looked like the Winged Eagle. When are we going to get those belts? We don't want the modern belts from when the company died. We want the belts that came out before. Even the one that they had before the 96 belt was a pretty nice belt. So I want those belts from ECW Championships. I don't want that same old title that we've had for so many freaking years, ever since Mattel's had the line. You know, they made it with the Jax figures as well. Like, I don't want that. The last time we saw that belt was when the OSTF was the ones that frickin' was making ECW figures. So we need that belt. But New Jack, very exciting. He's going to have Blade head sculpt. He is a defining moment figure, which is okay. But you know what? I'd love to see them get more ECW characters. You know, they've gotten the Sandman over the years. They got New Jack. They got the Dudley Boys under contract, because Dudley Boys were part of WWE and ECW. Like, can we see more people like the Public Enemy, Tommy Dreamer, Raven, Shane Douglas? You know, in fact, I'm about to be doing a wrestling video where I talk about how Shane Douglas, instead of Jeff Jarrett, should have been WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Jeff Jarrett should have never touched that WCW title. Shane Douglas should have, though. But ECW made some mistakes with some of their champions, too. Like, I was not a big fan of them making Justin Credible the champion. Especially with how long Justin Credible had that belt. Like, yeah. Or as I call him, just not Credible. But yeah, that's all the reveals they have from Ringside Fest 2025. I was hoping to see more stuff. Like, I was hoping to find out what the next Monday Night War Ultimate Edition is. I'm hoping we get a Booker T sometime early next year. DDP, there's still a couple gears they haven't got to with DDP yet. I was hoping to see, I don't know, maybe some new NWO figures, like, I don't know, K-Dog from the Wolfpack. A new Kevin Nash from the Wolfpack with the blonde hair. Which, you know, that would be a good figure to make with the blonde hair. The NWO Wolfpack logo of the belt. They just came out. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. That Lex Luger just came out in one of the most recent sets. With the frickin' jeans and the shirt. Although I wish the shirt would have been removable, because Luger did take the shirt off when he would wrestle. But, yeah, you know. So. But I also seen a review of that Luger, and they made it shorter than some of the other Luger figures that have come out by Mattel lately. So, yeah. Yeah. You know, like I said, I've gotten a hold of the Wolfpack Nash. The original one that came out years ago. Got a hold of the Sting, and got a hold of the Macho Man. And got the Lex Luger when he was in the trunks, but that was like, what? Right when they started the Wolfpack Elite stuff, or right before they started the Wolfpack Elite stuff. Although they botched the wrist tape on that. I mean, seriously, they botched the wrist tape on that. I had to paint it black, or I had my wife paint it black. I think I painted it black. But I painted the wrist tape black on that figure. That's why the wrist tape is black. But, yeah, they gave him the white wrist tape still. I'm like, he didn't wear the white wrist tape. He was wearing the black wrist tape. I don't know. But, yeah. Anyway, yeah, we didn't get no other big news items. Like, what else is coming out? Like, the next Ultimate Edition Monday Night Wars. I know the Kurt Angle one's next. But what's after Kurt Angle? Is it going to be Booker T? Is it going to be DDP? Is it going to be Chronic? I don't know. Although I hope they got Brian Adams under contract. I don't think they got Brian Clark under contract. I would like to see a Brian Clark figure. I want to see Wrath, and I want to see Brian Clark. I wouldn't mind seeing Adam Bomb either. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Monday Night War line has lasted forever. Definitely lasted longer than the Ruthless Aggression line. But, yeah. So, I hope we see them get Brian Clark under a contract so that we can get Chronic. And so that we can get Wrath. And even Adam Bomb. And now that Brian Adams, now that they've made him, I hope we also get Kona Crush. I think we're getting Kona Crush. 2 versions, like the good version and the evil version when he went bad and joined Mr. Fuji. Fuji, even though he was with Mr. Fuji before when he was with Demolition, we also got the Demolition Crush coming out too. But get Brian Clark under a contract so he can make Chronic. That was the best thing either one of them did. I did like Wrath as well. I think Wrath should have been the guy to face Goldberg at Starrcade for the World Heavyweight title. But Nash was more over because of the Wolfpack stuff, so yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, that's another character they could do that could do the straps down, and that's freaking Brian Clark. But anyway, that'll do it. I'll see you guys this freaking Monday for my plans for 2026 video, and then I've been like putting a lot of stuff on the community tab lately. Just to stay active without having to do videos. I put a silly question like, which company was the biggest competitor in WWE? We all know it was WCW, but I thought people would actually vote on that. Yeah, I also put up a poll for who do people think is going to win the King of the Rap thing, which will be the first live stream I do next year. I put up what games you would like me to see me play in 2026. And I put up a couple other things, but yeah. Video Monday. I might do something if big news comes out of the Game Awards for the Game Awards, but we'll have to wait and see. Game Awards is a few weeks away. Anyway, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Catch you guys later. Peace out.